A rectangular dance floor has a diagonal of length 40 feet and a perimeter of 112 feet. Find the dimensions of the dance floor. To familiarize ourselves with this problem, we'll draw a picture of the rectangular dance floor, and we'll label the length L and the width W. We're also told what the length of the diagonal was, so let's draw in a diagonal and label that 40. We're given the perimeter of the rectangle. The formula for perimeter of a rectangle is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, and that perimeter is 112. We're also given, if you can see from this triangle here, we could use the Pythagorean theorem and come up with the equation L squared plus W squared equals 40 squared. Now let's simplify a little bit before we start solving. We can divide everything in this first equation by 2. That will make it an equation with smaller numbers, which gives us L plus W equals 56, and then L squared plus W squared equals 40 squared, or 1600. In order to solve this, we will solve the first equation for one of the variables and substitute it into the second equation. Let's solve for L. We have L equals 56 minus W. So L squared then would be 56 minus W squared plus W squared equals 1600. Multiplying this out, 56 squared is 3,136 minus 112W plus W squared, that's the square of this, plus the W squared equals 1600. And simplifying, we would have 2W squared minus 112W, and then 3,136 minus 1600 is plus 1,536, and that equals 0. Now we could factor here. Let's go ahead and divide everything by 2 again to make our numbers a little smaller. We have W squared minus 56W plus 768 equals 0. And this does factor. It might not be obvious how it factors, so you could solve it using the quadratic formula. It factors into W minus 32 times W minus 24, and that equals 0. Now if W minus 32 is 0, we would have W equals 32, or if W minus 24 is 0, we would have W equals 24. Now let's see what lengths would correspond to this. If W equals 32, then the length, since the length plus the width is 56, the length would be 24. If W equals 24, then the length would be 32. So essentially what we have is a rectangle. One dimension is 32 and one's 24. Since width is usually less than the length, we'll say that the width is 24 and the length is 32. So we can state then that the width is 24 feet, and the length is 32 feet.